The Sphinx speaks about the New World manifestation. You all have so many ideas of how the New World could be, but your ideas are way ahead of what the world is at this moment. When we speak about manifesting, you have to take into consideration where your world is at this moment. Manifesting is different, and it is time for you to figure this out in a new way, but the new way is not there yet, as many are still working according to the old directions. You are looking for a world without money, and we would like you to think about this and if it would work in the world you are in at this moment. When the earth became more populated, bartering of foods and other ways of working with each other turned into a money system. You really have to think about why this happened, and if a bartering system would work for the entire earth population. As at this time you have large cities, where not many will actually have a way of, for example, exchanging services for food. There is a different mentality upon earth at this time than in the old times. The consciousness of the humans is different than in the old days. Many are used to the mentality of working for what they need, and to receive money for this. After all, money weighs less than a pound of apples. It is easier to carry money around than to barter for something you might not need, and go a couple of miles with a pound of apples, and barter it for what you really need, a pound of meat. There is also another mentality present where many think they deserve all they need without working. Both mentalities are not aligning itself with the world that does not have money. The first mentality, working for what you need, they are used to receive money for their work, to buy what they need, being able to choose what they want to buy. If you take away working for money, only certain things are going to be available when they want to have everything available. More choices. For the ones that want to have everything without working for it, they will not be satisfied with exchanging either work for food, or food for work, as both ways do involve work. The world at this moment has a large human population, and especially in the large cities you will not be able to grow food. This is also a limitation. We know there have been some alien groups trying to sell you the story of food replicators and more technical advances, but this is a story, not what is really going to happen. You have to be realistic as far as manifesting a new world reality is on your mind, and realistic in what and how the changes will affect all upon earth, not just a few. We would suggest focusing on what can be changed at this moment, and take it from there. Do not expect an immediate change, as there are many people on earth, and change will have to come from the heart, but also from understanding the change within. You cannot expect that everyone will turn into a loving being in one night. Spirituality will become more important, but there are many ways of being spiritually awake. There is another mentality process within the ones that are awake. In a way they are based upon the same two mentalities that we spoke about before. There is the mentality of everything has to be available to them, everything should happen to them no matter what, as after all they are aware and awake. The other part of this mentality is the ones that know they will have to work to awaken further spiritually. If someone knows something, knows how to do something, that can advance others spiritually, the expectation is that they should make this available for every person. There is a mentality that spiritual work is done by each person, but like with the overall mentalities, there is a difference between the ones that actually do work and the ones that wait for it. We are not saying there is anything wrong either way, and it is the people's choice to work in their own way spiritually. We have another mentality hanging in between. In a world where spirituality becomes more important, you will have more spiritual teachers. They are the ones that have in some way chosen to be teachers in this life, or already were teachers in previous lives. You will also find that more spiritual healers will be needed and come forward. These people will be full-time teachers, healers, and how are they going to survive? Bartering for food? Bartering for some work that is needed in their house? How much teaching or healing is landlord going to accept? Especially if you take into account that almost 99% of the people at this moment are not spiritually awake in the sense that most of you are. They will be looking for teachers and healers once they become more awake, and they will find them. You have to think about how the fact that some of the mentality of everything spiritual has to be free is going to have an effect on those teachers and healers who will be on the forefront of teaching and healing the ones that will be newly awakened. It is not going to be as it was before. The awakening has been a trickle process of someone awakening here and there. There are going to be larger groups awakening, and they will need someone to guide them, someone to teach them, someone to heal them. By staying within the mentality of everything spiritual is free, should be free, you are in a way not supporting the process of larger awakenings. Many newly spiritually awakened ones have encountered this mentality, and it has interfered with some as their process of awakening could have been much greater. This doesn't mean that teachers and healers should now start asking large amounts for their teachings and healings, but you should keep in mind that being a healer or teacher is in fact work that many do not see as work. When you speak about finding a job that you love doing, most of you speak about a job in the regular world, and you expect to get paid for that job. When a spiritual teacher or healer finds a job they love doing, being a spiritual teacher or healer, you expect them to do this for free. Now, not each and every spiritually awakened person has this mentality, but it is prevalent amongst many. This is an influential mentality that has an effect not just on the teachers and healers, but on every person upon earth. It influences their way of being able to manifest as well. There are many limited beliefs that are influencing the way manifestation is taking place, and many times it is making manifesting much harder than it should be. You really have to think about the reality you are in right now, as some expect changes that are in a way beyond your reach at this moment. The world is not going to change as fast as you would like. You have to accept this before you can even think about what is really needed for everyone upon earth right now. Manifestation is different, as the new earth is all about giving you the choice in how you would like the world to move forward. The greatest difference is that you do it yourself, instead of having it done for you. This is going to require some thought and in-depth searching within, as what your idea of the new world is at this moment is not in alignment with 99% of all others upon earth at this moment. You are the one that will find new ways of creation. Creation will also take place on a larger scale, as your creation is going to influence more people than you think. For those who remember being upon earth in Atlantis, and even before, you will remember that you were the ones creating upon earth. At that time there were less people on earth incarnated, so creation was simple, as each person was fully awake spiritually. At this moment in time 99% is not awake, and yet your creation will have an effect upon them without them having a choice in what is being created. This is the time to return to that state of creation, fully conscious of your surroundings, and fully conscious of not only your own needs, but also the needs of others. It is going to take time for that divine reality that some are holding in front of you as if it is already here, to be manifested. All the times that you have accepted that you are the creator, it is now time to be that creator. And creators are not the ones in charge of everyone that cannot create yet at this time. Creation is about a change in consciousness, a change in the way you think and act, but most important, a change in the way you see yourself and others, and the world around you. Keeping it real, not allowing yourself to be pulled in by anything, That is not yet reality at this moment. It could become reality in the future, but keep in mind that you still have a long way to go. You can see yourself as a creator, as someone who can make changes, but also as someone compassionate enough to know that some of the changes you have in mind are not the ones the earth and everyone upon it needs at this time. You are not going to give newly awakening people a chance if you give them a worldview or world reality that has not yet manifested. That is one of the reasons many have turned back to their sleep state. Give them something real, something that is real, and can be seen for real. For the ones that are a step further, and have started to see the glimpses of the spiritual world, allow them to explore with or without guidance in their own way, without limitations of what they should be, how they should act, and what is and what isn't allowed as far as spiritual awakening. This is all about becoming a conscious creator, and the new way of creating through your own work on this creation. There is no great being out there making the choices for you. There has never been one. It has always been you. Yes, you have been influenced by others, as you have not been able to fully create on a conscious level. Think about this when you start to create again on a conscious level. Many have forgotten, and over time many will remember this part of themselves, but it is going to take time. And your way of thinking, way of working and way of creating is going to be the greatest influence, as how many will remember the creator within themselves. You have always thought and known you were the creators of this reality. Now show it to the rest of the world. From one source to another. May 30th, 2013. Petra Margolis, www.ascendedmasters.org.